Going up, it's just, you're constantly wondering if you're going too hard and if you're going to die. So, like they say, it's an ultimate mental battle.
Is that what keeps bringing you back year after year, the ultimate mental battle?
Yeah, I don't care what racers show up, even if somebody shows up better than me, This is a test against yourself. Everybody that's out here is doing it, and everybody's testing themselves, and it's great.
It's called America's Ultimate Challenge. Each year, over 2,500 runners flock to Manitou Springs to challenge themselves against the mountain known as Pikes Peak. This year, runners from 46 different states and 8 foreign countries have come. They all start here and make their way towards the clouds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Mark Tatum, welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How's it going, my friend?
It's going pretty good, James. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, dude, it's good to have you, man. It's been a long time. I feel like we haven't caught up in a while.
Yeah, it's been, I think, since last year when we did Pikes Peak history.
Yeah. Which was, that's one of my most. I'm going to re-release it tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Because it's like my most highly touted. Like people reach out to me all the time and ask about that episode.
Well, you say that now. Every time I think about it, I was wrong about that, or now I know another piece of history. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm always reading up on.
Do we have to do a round 2? We'll have to do a part 2 then for next year or something.
Yeah, well, we might have.
If we didn't have Worlds, I'd say let's do a part 2 tomorrow or something. Do me a favor.
I'm just down the street now, so that's crazy.
I know. We're like practically neighbors. Bring your mic a little bit closer to yourself. Here, you can pull it.
Sorry. Well, I have to be able to see my computer. So
you do? Okay, all right. So I'll have to have you lean forward.
I'm too old. I can't see anything anymore.
So, Mark, what have you been up to?
So it's been kind of a crazy year, and I had a big kind of project this year where I had the opportunity to do the 3 oldest trail races in the U.S.
Did
this
you?
year.
You want to? Yeah.
I did Dipsea, of course, in June, and then I got an entry into Mount Marathon in Alaska, and had a friend offer a place to stay, which was the really hard part for me, and being able to get up there. And so they were very gracious, and the people up there were amazing, and that just had between those 2 races and being able, and then doing Pikes Peak, has been really interesting comparing those 3 races, and there's a lot of similarities, put it that way, between the 3 of them. So,
what did you think? Do you think do we get together as a group and do like a Legends series? Is that what this is, you think?
Matthias Sari mentioned that to me. He said, "Yeah, I'd like to do that. I've talked to Dipsea and the people that I talked to in Dipsea, and I don't really have any insight in Dipsea, but it sounded like it was something that they were interested in. And I think you've talked to me about the Pikes Peak part of it.
Yeah.
So Matthias, it's something Matthias has really been, he's the race director at Mount Marathon, and he's been really pushing that and seems really gung-ho on it. I think it's a great idea because we don't have, it's something beyond just the competing at the highest elite level, like Golden Trail or Skyrunner or one of those, Cirque Series or one of those series. Instead, it's more about participating in these events that are really important to the community. And Dipsea, I have a lot of experience at Dipsy, and they were, it's a huge community event, and everyone's just out there having fun, and it's like the best day of the year, Dipsy Day, and something that everybody in the community looks forward to. And Mount Marathon took that, I tell you, it took it to another level. It's like the entire town of Seward, and it goes way beyond Seward. It's like the entire peninsula over there is crazy about this race, and it's just a giant party is really what it is. And more so than Dipsy. Dipsy is more like a giant picnic and a family picnic. And Mount Marathon just seemed like a giant weekend party. So
it's funny you brought up Mount Marathon. I was just thinking about this. I was interviewing Anton on Thursday, and I was hanging out at the La Sportiva store, and there was a bunch of La Sportiva athletes there. And someone said something in passing that caught my ear that I completely forgot about until you just said this, that is next year the 100th year anniversary of Mount Marathon? It's either the 50th or the 100th. It's a big anniversary that's coming up next year. Anyway, someone said that that there's going to be a lot more elite openings for the big anniversary.
Okay, cool. Which
had me stoked because I was like, oh man, this could be really cool, something to follow. And I missed it this year because I was injured. I didn't even try to get in because I was hurt from like April through the end of June, but that's a race that I want to do. It's high on my list.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned Anton because he was the one who actually, I learned about it from him, from his old blog. And
really?
Because it was something that he always wanted to do. So that's kind of where I discovered it. And then I started watching the live stream that the local TV station would do there. And that, sometimes that was like the best trail coverage we had.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
And depending on the year. And so I've been a longtime fan of Mount Marathon. And so I had this opportunity to go, and it was everything that I had hoped. My performance was horrible. My climb, okay, so I was able to go out and I pre-ran it on Tuesday. The race was on Friday. And the second I got on the downhill, I realized I am not prepared for this downhill. And I thought I was okay on the downhills, and I was just not prepared for that. And so on race day, the climb went okay, although I will say I was also surprised on the climb that I couldn't pass anyone because it was just too crowded. I passed like 10 people. And my time was okay for my age group. I was the first one in my age group up. But I got up to the top and then turned around, started coming down, and immediately both of my calves cramped up.
Really?
And
for a 5K, that's...
Well, yeah, at that time, I was like a mile and a half in.
Yeah.
So
I've had this happen to me.
So that was very disappointing. And that's happened to me before. That happened to me once in New York at a national championship. But so, you go way out there and then you hobble down, and
it's really fun.
Yeah, not any fun. But it was a great day. I'm so glad I did it. And now, I'm much, I know what to prepare for.
Are you going to go back?
I'd like to.
You absolutely should. 100%.
I'd like to.
It's funny on the calf cramping stuff. Have you ever taken a sweat test?
I'm a very heavy sweater. So I have a theory about what happened. And this is something that I processed for weeks. What happened? What did I do wrong? Part of it was the late start. And so I think I had too much caffeine. And I drink a lot of caffeine anyway, but had too much caffeine to start with and got dehydrated probably. And that was, I think that was the major part of it.
Dude.
And I was totally trained for running uphill. And I was, as I said, I wasn't totally maxed out going uphill because I couldn't pass anybody. It was just really hard. It was just like single file.
Really?
So
you can't it's like really difficult to get around people then.
You have to be faster than the person. It took effort for me to get around people, and I don't know.
Did you take routes or cliffs?
I took cliffs.
Took the cliffs?
I think in retrospect, I would have scouted out routes,
Yeah.
but maybe it wouldn't have mattered.
Allie told me to take the routes. She said, when you do it, take the routes.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, I'll see what's up.
I did not scout the route, so I probably should have.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
again, the whole thing, it was just an incredible experience. I loved the steepness of it, but it's kind of hard to come down something when neither calf works.
Sorry to hear that. Well, listen, man, I've had a shit race this year myself, and you know what? Next year's our year. All right, that's what's up. We're gonna speak that into existence.
That sounds like a plan.
I have a serious question for you. So you got to see this Alaskan mountain running community firsthand.
Yeah,
and these are some of the greatest fans on the planet, in my opinion. Like, their community's so tight knit. Everybody comes out for this race. My question to you is, we live in a pretty tight knit community, Manitou Springs, Colorado Springs. We have a lot of people that love this race in Pikes Peak, which we're also previewing today. I don't think I even mentioned that when we got started rolling. How do we build a bigger fan base in Colorado Springs? How do we get the people out on the trail with cowbells and get them excited about this amazing community event?
That's something I've thought about a lot, because it is a big community event, and there are a lot of people out there, really. It's a big mountain, so sometimes it feels like there's not as many people. At Mount Marathon, it's a 5K cut in half. I mean, it only goes up. It's an out and back course, so it feels like every minute there's someone there. But even on the top parts up there weren't anyone. Yeah, it would be nice if we could make it easier for fans to get up on top, and especially for the marathon, and do the whole cowbell thing and cheering and make an afternoon of it.
I'm thinking, so hear me out here for the marathon or the Ascent, maybe for next year. It's too late this year, but this is something I've been thinking about, and I bring this up at the board meetings all the time. Like, how do we create fans? So what if we designate like a section of the course that's like easy, maybe a section of the course for 2026, where like we can even put people on the train. We put like we pack like people on the train. We take them to this one section. Maybe we get off at like bar camp, and and we just make bar camp it.
Right.
And we just have like a giant party at bar camp, and because it's on the Ascent, it's obviously about halfway. It's a little in the ballpark of it.
Yeah, and it's an easy walk back down for the fans from bar camp. I mean, you could go up there and then walk back down.
Giant party. We get donuts or whatever. We pipe in the food. And we make it like, cowbells, and we can even make it sponsored by like some, I don't know, whoever, the North Face is sponsoring it, right? So let's set a budget, like a couple $1,000s or something, to just make this something special, right?
Yeah, that would be so cool. And it's, and I already feel like the Pikes Peak races are kind of like, it's the best way to go up Pikes Peak. If you're, if you want to go do Pikes Peak, might as well go do the Ascent or something, because it's supported. You get a ride back down, and it's just a really fun day. It doesn't matter how fast you go, as long as you can somehow stay ahead of the cutoffs. But for trail runners, it's not a difficult cutoff, I don't think.
It's true. Do you want to hear a funny Matt story that happened to me the other day?
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna laugh really hard at this. So I talked to Anton I talked to Anton on Thursday. Friday. This was Friday. So I'm like scouting this new, I shouldn't have put this out into the world, but I found some trails near Crystal Park that I've been liking really a lot lately, that Ace showed me. That's all I'll say about trails. I'm near Crystal Park, I'll put it that way.
I think I know where they are.
I'm leaving that parking lot, and who do I see? Matt Carpenter just randomly walking down the road. And so I like slowed down, because I'm like, do I have time to have a conversation with him? I'm thinking I'm going to talk to him. So I go to like slow down, like roll down my window, and then I check the time, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm 30 minutes late to get back to work. Like I cannot. So I like slow down my car just enough to where it's weird. And he like looks at me, and like we make awkward eye contact. And then I like speed up, and like he like looks at me befuddled, and like I don't know if he recognized me, or I don't think he even knows who I am. So I like keep driving, and I'm like drive up a little fast. So he like pulls out his phone thinking I'm like a stalker, like takes a photo of my license plate. So this gets back to him. Matt Carpenter, I'm really sorry. Like, I was not stalking you, but I was going to talk to you. Anyway, so yeah.
Supposedly he has a run streak still going on that spans a long time, like since 2012 or something. I don't know.
Really?
Or maybe beyond that. I don't know. A long time. So, and he's often on, I often see him on Intamin.
Yep, that's always where I see him. Another funny story. I bumped into him. I'm having like a nice Sunday. I just figured out this like new route on my bike from the house, and I could go up Lower Gold Camp, and I'm like on the climb on Lower Gold Camp, just chilling, like just on the road section on my gravel bike, just taking it all in, having a great Sunday. And who like catches me is Matt Carpenter, and I didn't realize it was him. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like trying to like race with me. So I get on his tail. I'm like racing him, holding him. Like I'm like not letting this guy get away from me. And all of a sudden, I guess he realizes like I'm on his tail, and he drops me like hard. And he only gets like maybe 50 yards ahead of me. Gets where like he's on a road bike, and it's like where it turns from gravel into road, or from road into gravel on Lower Gold Camp. And he like turns around and like gives me this look. And just like just completely like takes off on the descent. I was like, oh man, Matt Carpenter still got it.
There's that same guy stalking me again.
Yeah, he still got it. So yeah, I've got some funny run-ins with him. Like it's kind of weird.
I always say hi to him, but he's probably everybody says hi to him who recognizes him.
I'd love to talk to him, have him on. He's it's funny. Anton said something really like not on our podcast, but in another one that like really stuck with me. He's like, I would want to be different than Matt, because I guess Matt has been in previous years a little more quiet, more reclusive, doesn't really come out to stuff. And like, I think he might start to come out more just because like now he's got a YouTube channel out there. Probably people don't know about this. Yeah, you showed it to me, Peak Runner.
Yeah, he posted some great things on there. Has he posted anything recently?
He put up no, I've actually watched like I think it's been about a year since he put stuff up.
Okay.
But he put up like stuff like back when Manitou like flooded and had all those like all kinds of stuff.
2012, yeah.
Yeah. So and it was interesting talking to Anton too, because like I brought up, I was like, that year you would have run Pikes and not run Leadville. Like, you would have clashed with Matt Carpenter. Like he swears he wasn't in good enough shape to beat him, but I just find that like that would have been a very interesting like story in our sport had Anton run that race.
Yeah, I think it would have, as you said in the podcast, I think it might have changed Anton's trajectory, because when he ran that Leadville, it was like he really arrived on the stage at that point. So,
superstardom. Yeah.
Yeah. And probably wouldn't have happened with Pike's Peak.
No. It's interesting. He just thinks that, I mean, according to him, it would have been delayed, but interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's probably right about that. Eventually he would have been an ultra runner.
Yeah. But super cool guy. All right. Let's talk more about Pike's Peak. Where were we going with this? We're talking about the legends, like the 3 different races. Do you think there's like, what did you like most about, how about this? Because Dipsy's its own thing. Mount Marathon's very much its own thing. Pikes is its own thing. What still to you is the most special?
Let me talk about, because you had mentioned the Alaska community.
Yes.
There's definitely a community at in Marin County for Dipsy. And but the community in Alaska was, it seemed, there was some really great runners there, and really just a ton of really strong runners. And, most of them probably can't come down here to do races here. Or certainly a lot of them do. But they are very welcoming to me. And the funny thing is that there was a contingent from Alaska who did Dipsy this year, and with the intent of they did the runner section this year, and then they qualified for the invitational next year. So they're going to come back. And Matthias has said he's going to come back and try to do what I'm doing this year, do all 3 of them. Isn't Matthias entered in the marathon?
That's a good question.
Anyway,
if he is, we'll have to chat.
So the community is really tight. They have a whole series of races there. There are real trail races there in the Anchorage area. And when I went there, it wasn't just my friend from Colorado Springs who let me sleep on his couch, his Airbnb couch, but I had a couple other people who let me sleep in their house. So, I mean, it was amazing. The community and the welcoming spirit, and everyone's just super nice. And so I really appreciated that aspect of it. And sometimes, I think that's partly just Alaska.
Do you think, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but this is something we're talking about for 2026. that Broken Arrow does. Do you think we could benefit from an elite housing program for Pikes Peak? Like, do you think that would help just from a community perspective for us to build more fan base?
For sure. I don't know. Yeah, we probably got away from that a little bit with when the Golden Trail Series was here because they had their own accommodation plan, right?
So we used to do it then. No one brought that up to me when I brought that up at the
I don't
the
know. I'm assuming this is my memory, maybe, and I was never on the elite program anyway, but it seems like there was people staying in houses. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that that's something we could definitely benefit. There's like so many different ideas you could throw at this race to continue to like make it and improve, make it change, you know?
And to be fair, you know, I think that, you know, we had Pikes Peak had the event downtown for a while and, you know, for the registration, and then they tried to make it an event in Manitou. They closed the main street in Manitou on Marathon Day. And that was pretty cool. I don't know how it was for the business owners.
Yeah, they probably didn't like that.
bunch of tired runners walking around, but you know, so there was some of that feeling. And I've been to Broken Arrow too, and they had the advantage of just having the ski resort there and having it completely nothing but trail runners.
It's kind of its own like centered thing, whereas Manitou is the town. You know, we talked about this, and this is something I've wondered for a while: is if we bring the expo out to downtown, or instead of out of like Manitou. But I think like you could just expand it or make it in downtown Manitou proper or something like that. Like shut down the road, make it walking traffic only, and then make people park out, you know, on an OCC and then walk in or something like that, or have a shuttle system. I think that would make it, I don't know, like I think the beauty of like Mammoth, for instance, one thing they do really well is they showcase their town. They make it like this is our resort, our town, our place. And I think we need to do a better job of like showcasing our mountain in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what the response was in 2018 and 2019 when they did something similar.
Yeah.
So I remember the stage for the awards for the marathon was set up right on the street. So I don't know what the feedback was. And then COVID kind of messed up a lot of that stuff after that.
Yeah. Committee. There's always a committee. All right, let's talk about the 2025 race a little bit. I think this is a much different type of race than we've had in previous years, with the exception of last year. I think this is very similar to last year. Have you checked the weather forecast? I actually have not going into this.
Well, the weather forecast I saw today was high of like 70, I think.
Okay.
Down here, and low in the morning of like 50. So if it was like, you know, which is about what it was today, what really matters is the barometric pressure, and it would be interesting to see how that plays out. We've had some really high pressure days lately, and so I'm hopeful that we'll get a good high pressure day on race day, because we have had some more. Not as many clear blue skies as we normally do in September. I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, the weather's been very up. And so here's my question is, if we get another bad weather year and we have to change the marathon again or the Ascent or something, like I wonder if that's going to put pressure on the organization to move the race back to August. Because that's the $1 million question. Not that that's like being discussed internally, but like there's a good chance we move the race a week earlier next year, or maybe 2 weeks earlier, just because there was like something we were talking about this, about they needed the first weekend of September or something like that for something else for Manitou, and now that's like
the Labor Day.
Yeah, but now it's like not a thing. Like it's not Labor Day. It's something. Maybe it's the second week of September. They like needed it for something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like with Manitou, and now whatever that was is not like a roadblock anymore. I don't know, something.
You know, we had horrible weather up there and on the weekend, Pikes Peak on Leadville weekend.
Yeah,
it wasn't great. So, I think it's probably better in September.
Do you think so? Maybe like earlier though, like in September, maybe first or second week. Yeah, because I think, the 20th is such a dice roll with just snow and with just, the last few years it's been close.
I guess I'm not on that bandwagon. I think that the decision to move it to September was the right one.
I had a woman reach out to me asking if she could put together what the hell was it? I shit you not, a petition to get it moved back to August. I was like, no, please don't do that.
Well, I ran in, when was it? Was it like the Thursday before or something when it would have been? I ran from Elk Park, and there was, I'm not kidding you, a foot of hail for a mile along that trail from Elk Park to Barcamp.
No way.
On the peak. So, I mean, it wasn't on Bar Trail, but it could have been.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. This was the more than 24 hour. Well, maybe it was from the night before, and then that afternoon I went. So it was on a Sunday, but it was around that time. And monsoon season, it happens in August.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
it's true. Yeah, it's. I mean, this is the nature of the beast. This is what happens when you have races on 14,000 foot mountains.
I mean, UTMB always scheduled it during when their weather turns every year.
It's true. Yeah, this year was an interesting year. They had to change some stuff around, which made it interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's common. So yeah, we definitely want to go to the top.
Yeah.
Last year was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Should be a good one. Either way, I think it'll be fun nonetheless. So what stuck out to you about the start list this year? Any particular people that have you interested for the 2025 season or 2025 race, I should say? Anything on both ends, the Ascent or the Marathon, that kind of stuck out to you?
Well, do you want to start with the Marathon or the Ascent?
Man. Well, I could say one thing is I had a sizable role, if not with our board member partner, Sarah, as far as putting together the competitive entries. Okay. But there was still people that popped up on both the Ascent and Marathon that didn't reach out to us for competitive entries. So they were just kind of filtered into the list, like Seth and Joe Demore just kind of signed up on their own.
Right.
Mika Bowden Rosio, who is not officially on the race start list yet, but will be.
He was on the list that I saw.
He was on the, okay.
Yeah.
That means he's signed up then as of today.
Okay.
He and I spoke yesterday, so he's in.
Well, that's great.
But that's for the Ascent. For the Marathon, all right, so one big thing I do want to caveat for the Marathon is that we had a lot of athletes reach out to us this year. This is the fun part that I never realized before about running an organization or doing work for an organization is that, like, there's a lot of moving parts. So we had a lot of athletes this year reach out to drop from the Marathon and move down to the Ascent. That's kind of the story of 2025.
Oh, wow.
More than quite a few. So it's a much thinner field in the Marathon, in my honest opinion.
Right, definitely.
The deep race this year is going to be the Ascent again, from what I can tell.
Yeah, and that's usually the case. It's it doesn't take as much out of you. It doesn't ruin the next month of racing. So, some people use it as a springboard into some of these fall races.
Yep,
so.
That's very true. Very true. But yeah. Any names in particular that stuck out, or any storylines or anything outside of that you think? I can even give some names, for instance, like on the registration list, there won't be there on the Marathon side. Like Hawk Call will not be racing, and he's a notable drop. Definitely would have been a contender for the win, who's not going to be there. Adrian McDonald as well, former 2-time Leadville champion.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Adrian and Hawk mix it up with John. I think it would have made John's four-peat possibly much more harder, or a little bit harder, if you will. Whereas, like, I look at this list now and I just see, like, unless John trips on a rock, I think he's going to have himself
for sure.
an easy day.
He's my pick too, and Christina
as well
on the women's side. So that was you asked for my general take, is that the local runners are definitely going to do well. There's going to be a lot of local runners who are going to finish in the top 10 this year at a major event, and then this is a real opportunity for them to do that. Which just makes it such a special day.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, amongst Christina, I should talk about Christina as well. Christina, we did have her. She's not on the list yet. She is going to be running. She, I think, is very excited to come back for a potential. This would be her fourth win if she does pull it off. Which, I mean, as far as the record books go, and as far as legacy on this mountain, up there with some of the most winningest persons that have ever run this race, which is pretty cool.
Right. And she has the fastest downhill time.
She does have the fastest downhill time. She is probably, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because like I'm not aware, like I'm less aware of the women downhill and uphill times as I am like, for instance, like my cohort in the men.
Right.
But I have to say, like, I'd put her up there amongst one of the best female downhillers in America for sure.
Oh, for sure. And especially on this mountain. Yeah, she's put on some incredible performances coming down, but she won't be under any pressure, from what I can tell from the entry list. But who knows?
Yeah, no, I agree. Looking at I don't see her being pressured, but who knows? Like you said, it could be a tale of different years. I don't know. She seems to be in good form this year. You know, she got top 20 in the top 20 in the Broken Arrow 23K, and she won BTMR this year. In not a super close race for BTMR, but I don't think she was challenged too much. But yeah,
I talked to a couple guys who she passed on the way down, so
oh yeah,
they were impressed.
She's a killer, man. I always love seeing Christina, and every time I see her on the trails, she's always smiling, she's always saying hi, and she's always just such a pleasant person. Right. Like just kind of uplifts the mood, even if you're having a rough day out. Like she's always very positive.
I happened to be on top when, like a mile down from the top, when she set the record coming down, and was that 2018 or something? And she was just smiling. She, waved at me, and as she ran by everybody going down, that was an incredible race.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she's a killer, absolute killer. It'd be cool to one of these years if we could get like I don't know, if we go back into being a series of some kind or working with a series of some kind, if we had the right rabbits and like the right athletes in the race to push her, I'd love to see her try and make a go at the record. I don't know how touchable Maud's record is, in my opinion. I mean, you got to remember too, Maud necessarily didn't come from altitude, so I wonder how much more touchable. Like, I'd like to see Allie give it a go too. Like, I think that there's some ladies, that could definitely challenge for that marathon record, especially given Christina's descending.
Yeah, I think definitely Christina, or it'd be interesting to see Allie go for the marathon. Hasn't she done the marathon once?
Yeah, I think she got second or she won it. I should know this.
Yeah, I should know this too. But she did the double. That's what I think it was. So she didn't win that year, but
no, I think she got second.
She had done the double.
Yeah, and she would have. I think Ashley Brassovin might have beaten her that year. I'm looking it up right now while we're doing this.
But yeah, I think a healthy Allie could challenge that record. And but in 2019 when Maud set that, she was at the very top of the women's. She won the Golden Trail Series that year.
Oh, so I'm wrong. Allie McLaughlin has run the marathon twice, actually.
Okay.
She was third in, 2020? And then she was second in 2021. Both years she did the double, where first in 2020,
in 2020
she did not do the double.
Ascent.
Yeah. So in 2021, she did the double where she won. So yeah. There you go. Now I got the results pulled up, and I can actually give some commentary. It's interesting. So just goes to show you how much she improved from 2020 to 2021. In 2021 was the year she doubled. In 2021, she beat her time from 2020. In 2020, she ran 4:38.12. In 2021, she ran 4:38.06. That's 6 seconds off. That's crazy. How close that is.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Who won those years?
Hold on. I think Ashley Brassovin won in 2021, but let me just make sure. Making me think for this.
I know. I could be looking it up too. Sorry, I'm just an Ally Mac fan, I guess.
No, me too. Why is it not coming up? Yeah, I believe it was Ashley Brassovin.
Wow. I would like to see more competition in the marathon. It's interesting how it ebbs and flows, and when the Golden Trail Series was part of the marathon, that really helped.
Oh, my apologies. It was Stevie Kramer who won.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Stevie Kramer won that year, 2021. All right, so let's get into, want to talk about the Ascent? Because I feel like there's more names in there, more storylines, more things to get into. I think the big one that stood out for me was Seth James Damore and Joe Damore. My teammate at La Sportiva is in this race. Joe Damore is in good shape. I just saw him at Cirque Series Grand Targhee, where he got on the podium, had a great race there. And then Seth Damore, it's always hard for me to kind of figure out like where he's at in his season. He usually likes to peak for races like this.
Right.
He had a really bad race at, the GoPro Games earlier in June. I would imagine he's fit now. It's always hard to tell. I don't know. He shows up to these races and he's so good above tree line that like you can never count him out.
He's been doing a lot of 14ers this summer. And last weekend on Sunday, I think yesterday, he set a CR on one of the alternate Mount Albert routes.
Did he really? Okay.
So
he's fit. Very fit.
He seems like he's fit. Yeah, he can. Yeah. He didn't set it on the main one. He set it on the south trail.
You know what's crazy? Of all his Ascent times, his fastest one was when he won the marathon in 2021. He ran 2:06:44.
I know. That was a crazy great race.
Dude, that's so fast. You know what's interesting too? He's always, I've heard legendary stories about him above tree line, that he just mows people down, both in 2023 and then even last year in 24. He caught Mika. Mika was in second place for most of that race, and he caught Mika, I think it was like either just below the Golden State. It was close.
In
2024, last year when he got second to Joe, he caught Mika right at the end.
Wasn't last year the rain out or they didn't go to the top? Oh
no, they went to the top last year.
You're talking about the Ascent.
I'm talking about the Ascent, not the marathon.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yes.
Yeah. So
he does just mow people down.
It's very good above tree line. So the Damore brothers are going to be in this race. Another name that stands out for me, in my opinion, the person that beat in this race is going to be Brian Whitfield. 8th place in 2023, ran 2:14:55. Yes, he's not quite has the PR that Seth does, but there is such a thing as father time. And I think Brian has aged into the best form of himself right now. Another top 10 finish at the Broken Arrow 46K. He's out there in Gunnison running at high altitude and training really hard. I think there's a lot of indicators. And last week, 5th place at Cirque Series A Basin, which is a super fast, that was a very competitive race.
Yeah.
A lot of indicators that he's in good shape, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely on my list as well.
Some other names that stand out to me, Jarrett Gillingham, Kieran Ney. Jarrett Gillingham he was at Mount Marathon with you.
Yeah.
I think he got a top 10 finish, I believe, somewhere in that range. Kieran Ney, who just got on the podium of the Grand Traverse.
Kieran has had a great year. He did really well in some of the Golden Trail Series, and I think he really had a breakout year this year. Yeah. And I've got him in my top 3.
Yeah. No, I think, Kieran's come close, man. Like, last year he got 5th at the Ascent. He was there. I kind of picked him to be on the podium last year and take that step forward. Yeah. I think maybe his training this year might have been more for, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like maybe it was more for Grand Traverse stuff, more longer stuff. I do know he has a few more races lined up after this that are a bit longer. So maybe he's dabbling at the longer stuff. He was one of the original ones that was signed up for the marathon and dropped down to the Ascent.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I wonder if he could have actually won or challenged for the marathon win this year against John. I mean, John's in sick shape. Like
he seems like he's really fit.
Jeff Cuno got second to him at BTMR, and Jeff Cuno had some high praise to give to him. So
yeah, he's been spending a lot of time on the mountain too. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see John.
Some other names that stuck out to me: Tyler Veerman, who had a top 20 finish last year. He's coming back. He had a pretty okay finish at Cirque Series A Basin. He was in the mix. A big name for me is Zach Erickson. I recruited him to come out to this race, and I feel very proud of that. Zach Erickson was a top top 10 at Sunapee this year, 7th. He's also the collegiate national title holder and was on the podium last year at the U.S. Mountain Running Championship for Cirque Snowbird. The kid is sick talented. He's so
How
good.
old is he? He's from Utah, right?
Yeah, he can't be anything older than 21. He's, like collegiate national title holder. I'll tell you how old he specifically is right now. Zach Erickson is 20. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. 24 years old. So he's a little bit older in college. 20 to 24 category. Never ran Pikes Peak before. He's from Orem, Utah. Absolute stud. Like, I think he has an opportunity to get on the podium. Like, he's that talented.
That would be big for him.
It's a little bit long for him and it's a little bit high. So he tends to stand out in those mountain classic races.
Right.
In the Wasatch, especially Orem, that's where Christian Allen is from and a lot of other stud athletes. What is Temp? 11,000 feet, something like that. So you can get it pretty high up above tree line. But I think once you get, it's very difficult to mimic that anything above maybe A-frame. Like that's a very difficult thing to nail.
Yeah,
unless you can train on the mountain.
That's a really, if you're not spending time up there, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Yep.
But he may well. I haven't checked his Strava, so he may well be getting up high.
Yeah.
So one guy who I know who has made several trips up to the top is Evans Cabot, and he's been going up with Joe and.
You think he's the heir apparent?
I think that he has a chance to get on the podium.
Okay, all right. I've followed a lot of his training, Evans Cabot. He's shown up at some different leaderboards and stuff that I've seen on him. So I know he's kind of in the mix with Joe a bunch. Joe didn't. I should have asked Joe today if he could give me more information on him. But I know last year he was supposed to race and didn't race.
Okay.
So I don't know. Didn't apply for a competitive entry. I think he just signed up himself. If he's been up there with Joe toying around, I'm sure Joe's giving him some pointers. So
yeah, I think he's been up there with Joe and John. So from what I can tell,
interesting. Maybe heir.
He doesn't post on Strava, but.
Yeah, I couldn't. There's not much on there. There's a few things here and there that'll be on a leaderboard. Peter Maximal is returning to this race.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because that is so great. Peter's been working through. He's had an injury for, I don't know, a decade, and that he had a knee injury. I think he got it from either BTMR or the marathon, Pikes Peak Marathon. And it just really took him. He was a sponsored pro at the time, and it just really set him back. So it's so good to see him out there.
Yeah. I don't know Peter super well. We'll have to have him on the podcast at some point down. I had no idea the guy. I've met him probably 3 or 4 times. I had no idea he was 46 years old. I thought he was much younger. He comes off as much younger to me. It's going to be cool to see him in the mix.
He's a great photographer. We're really lucky to have him in the sport. So.
Yeah. No, he's, like I said, very well known. It's going to be very cool to have him and have him. It's a good mix up.
Yeah. I was surprised to see his name on there and so happy that he's making it back.
A couple more names I want to throw out there is Owen Wright, Mark Schenberger. Mark used to live in the Springs. Yeah. I know he used to be roommates with Ace Brown. So he's fast.
He spent some time in Durango. He's back in Denver now, though, right?
Is he? I don't know. I knew, the last I knew of him was in Durango. Let's see what he's listed under. Mark. He's still listed under Durango.
Yeah.
So
I think he just moved back to Denver. So
did he? I do. I snipe all of his stuff from 2019 to 2020 on Strava. He's got a lot of really good routes that people don't like to do in the Springs. So there's some good little gems in there.
Yeah, I think that I cross with him quite a bit on the routes too.
Yeah, lots of good stuff there. Nick Tusa, do want to shout out one of my good buddies, frequent co-host on the podcast and sometimes training partner, Nick Tusa. Nick just got on the podium of Devil on the Divide, had a great finish there. He's definitely fit. He's peaking for this race. This is his A race on the year, so I would I would expect to see him somewhere in that top 10, top 15 mix up. I know he is targeting that, so it's going to be cool to see Nick in the mix. Jeff Cuno as well. Jeff, second place at BTMR. Him as well just raced Zach Miller at the Devil on the Divide 50K, had a great finish there. He's kind of figuring out the 50K distance and lower. So this is going to be one of his shorter races of the year. He's, I think, a back-to-back-to-back champion at the up and over 10K down in Taos. Right. Primary New Mexico runner, but as of this year has been staying at higher altitude, living up in Evergreen around 8,000 or 9,000 feet. Jeff is interesting, man. Like, he's one of the brightest minds as far as coaching goes. He's a brilliant coach.
I listened to that podcast you did with him, and it was really interesting. And I've talked to him in the past. He's really a great runner.
Great runner, good dude, just a very good, kind human, and someone that he's always given me pointers, and I'm always asking him questions and stuff like that. So he is extremely talented. And he's been playing around a lot more above tree line. He says he feels comfortable. One of the things he was working on nailing this time around, in his words, were kind of that high up, being able to feel good above A-frame. I think that's the number one thing a lot of people are trying to work on. Get that dialed in. And
so the key there is just saving it for above bar camp. And we should have a conversation about what it takes to run a good ascent.
I mean, I think it's so hard.
I'm the expert, but it's so many people get it wrong that it's really fascinating to watch people up above tree line.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I think a masterclass is Seth DeMore, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he just, like I said, I think it's very easy in that first 2,000 feet, even in that first road mile. I mean, that first road mile only gains a few hundred feet. Like, it's not that hard for a tapered elite to go run sub 6 minute pace on that. And then, you're low 5 minute, high 4 minute grade adjusted pace. And you're going to continue that into the 5-6 minute grade adjusted pace on the W's. And you're destroyed by the time you hit 2,200 feet. And you're like, oh my God, I have a lot more to run.
Right.
I think it's smarter to just sit back and let the race unfold in front of you. And then once you hit the flats, you can make moves. Like, once you turn on to,
it is so easy to just push too hard on the W's and try to get past people, because it's so steep. You can go way too hard, too fast. The guy who does, other than Carpenter, obviously, the guy who has done the best on pacing himself, I think, is Joe Gray.
Yep.
And if you look at, he's one of the very few people who can do a negative split from bar camp.
So crazy. The thing is, I think one of the hardest parts to nail too is that section of, and I say this on probably every like Pikes Peak episode that we talk about, is that section above bar camp to A-frame.
Yeah.
Those switchbacks are just like so if you're hiking that, you are getting swallowed up. Your race is over. Like, you're not competitive at that point. Like, you have to run every step of that, or else it's game over if you want to get on that podium or get in the top 10.
Yeah. And it's really rocky and just gets higher and higher. And that's where people do start walking, especially, a lot of the top women will end up walking that.
Yeah.
And they'll, so it's a, I wonder how many of the top guys end up run walking, or at what point what does that start?
I've been told, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, it depends on the person, but I've been told like, who was it? 2023 Pikes? Francesco Pupi was like on the side of the trail, like dying, and like walked it all, and he came back from the dead, and like I forget what he finished at, but he had wound up having a good finish. I don't know. It just depends. Like, I think you might be able to get away with it, but then you're gonna have to book it once you hit A-frame and it starts to flatten out a little bit. You're gonna have to get, it doesn't get any easier. Like, it might flatten a little bit, but it's still, you're at 12 plus. So good luck with that. That's another section that's hard to nail. I think a lot of moves, if you're going to make a move, in my opinion, where I would make the move is going to be in that flat section. Once you turn off the no name and you get once you basically get above no name before bar camp, because it's flatter.
Right. And Carpenter would say, well, if you took it easy enough on the W's, then you have permission to run a little faster on over to bar camp.
Yeah.
But as he says, the race didn't really start until you get to bar camp.
I can see that. I mean, it makes sense.
But I also see lots of people just running as hard as they can to bar camp and just surviving to the top.
Which I don't recommend.
Maybe it doesn't matter, but I do think that if you can negative split it, and if you go back and look at past years, almost nobody negative splits.
No.
And if you could actually come close to even splits, then that's probably the best way to run it.
Yeah. It's tricky mountain. Definitely a tricky mountain nonetheless, but we'll have to, there's plenty of people I want to see out here still. Like, I wonder if it's always hard because it conflicts with the rut so much, but like next year, that's not a World's year. I'd love to see if we can get Michelino back out here to do something like this. And like some of the better, mountain runners in the country to like make the marathon like great in a lot of ways. Like it would be kind of cool to get some more mountain guys out here to do the marathon. Like Adam Peterman, get him back. There's a lot of people I think that could be, David Sinclair, he's a former champion.
Right.
Cool to get him back. So he was at the start list last year and didn't show. David Sinclair.
Well, we won't have the Worlds interfering and with the schedule next year, so that'll be a big part of it.
Opens things up, yeah. I mean, this is the $1 million question. It's like, all right, at what point in time does like UTMB consolidation start to like really impact it, especially for like people are very. I mean, September is like a very picky time because it's like you're either going to Pikes this year. You're either going to Pikes Worlds, the Rut, or you're going to go to or Mammoth, and Mammoth's got a huge following as well. If you're from that California area, right. I think a lot of people are Mammoth curious to see. Tim's built an amazing thing there, so yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I think it's mainly Worlds that's interfering this year with a lot of the Colorado.
Well, we'd have Joe back, for instance. Like I'm sure Joe would go for another win. And I don't think it would be particularly that hard for him. I think this would be to me, the most interesting race out of the entire series is going to be the women's Ascent. Like I'm very excited to see what happens on the women's Ascent. Like there's one name that stands out to me that I'm like really excited to see. And then there's another like a good list of like other competitors that I'm like, this could be really interesting to see what happens. Like
it is totally wide open, I think.
Yeah.
Who is the one name that stands out to you?
Oh, Rena Schwartz.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
She's been doing really well.
Yeah. Mount Washington, although it was a shortened course, Mount Washington winner this year. And even if the course was longer, I think she still would have won. Like Rena's in really good form this year. Also just shows that it's not a fluke just racing down at sea level because she lived in Vermont for a good chunk of the year.
Right.
And then comes up here, has only been here for a short period of time and wins Cirque Series A Basin.
Oh,
and
wow.
wins it, beats, for instance, beat Courtney Coppinger. No, who wasn't necessarily peaking for this race.
Right.
She's peaking for Worlds in a couple weeks. But still, beat Courtney Coppinger, who's one of the best, if not having the best female mountain runner year this year, besides a few others. Dude, Rena is very young and has, in my opinion, an extremely bright future. Like I'm very excited to see, what she's, possibly could do. And she's only, I think she's 25 years old. So
yeah, definitely kind of new to the scene.
Yep. Few others that stick out to me, Alicia Vargo.
Yeah.
She's mixed it up in a few Golden Trail Series races in previous years. I think she has a good shot. Sarah Carter. I'm excited to see Sarah Carter in this race as well. I think she has an opportunity to challenge for the podium. Has 2 top 10 finishes this year, one at Tapek Trail at the Golden Trail World Series and the other one at the Pitts Alpen Glacier. Had a good finish at OCC as well. So as long as she's not too tired in the legs, I think she'd have a good race. Also, Andy Cornish. I think Andy Cornish has the ability to do very well here. Has had some really good finishes this year at races, a lot of Ascent races. So she has an interesting medical thing. I think she was pretty transparent with this on the podcast, where because of certain medical reasons, she can only race uphill races this year. So that's her time, unless she gets a specific. I think it's a special surgery, so that way she can race downhill as well. I forget what it specifically was. What was the issue? And I don't want to say the wrong thing and then have to go back and edit it. Yada yada yada.
But she's been doing pretty well anyway.
Dude, Andy Cornish is a killer. Andy Cornish is an absolute crusher. We're having her on for a pre-race interview, I think tomorrow. So yeah, expect to see her in the mix. I'm not really sure. I'm told Anime Flynn will. I'm not really sure if she's going to be there or not. I've got mixed information on that. So there's a chance you see Anime Flynn. There's a chance you might not see Anime Flynn.
What do you think about Brittany Charbonneau?
She's in the,
former
marathon winner.
Marathon, but it's hard for me to track exactly how serious she is about it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, she's one of those. She's a TNF athlete, so she gets a auto entry from them. So I was
an
told
auto entry because she's a former champ.
Former champ. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say. Like, she's an interesting person.
She's also. Do you follow her on Strava? Maybe she's actually a very funny. What she calls herself.
She's got jokes,
funny
man.
Runner,
Yeah,
so
she's got jokes.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love her approach. I know she was at the Rut this weekend, but I don't think she raced. I think she was just there supporting.
Okay.
It's hard to say. I don't know. She's also been the reason I'm hesitant is because she's been on the list the last few years and has not raced. So I'm not really sure if she'll line up on race day and what the situation will be like there. Gwen Rudy, she's put down as Gwendolyn Rudy here. Gwen Rudy is a skimo athlete, a very talented uphill athlete, I will say.
Right.
She doesn't race too much trail stuff. When she does, so for instance, she said top 10 finishes at like Sunapee when the Ascent was there back in 2023, when it was a selection race for Worlds.
Right.
Like, she can mix it up with the best of them. And I think she's only probably improved on the uphill, like for being a vertical skimo athlete. Ginormous engine, like just very talented, lives at Leadville. Like, it's not going to be a problem being above 10,000 feet for someone like her. So I would not be surprised to see her mix it up in the top 5, top 10 maybe. Another name I see on here is Janelle Lynx. Did compete at Cirque Series A Basin. She's always a tricky one for me. So like, I didn't recruit her for this, for the elites. She applied. And like I said, I accepted it because I really wanted to see her like mix it up.
She's had some awesome years.
Dude, she's so talented.
She's such a good climber.
But at the same time, I don't know if, she's very picky and choosy about what she races.
Right.
Like, she'll be signed up for stuff and then not show.
Right.
So I really don't know. And that's no like shade to anyone. It's just that like it's hard for me to know if you're going to mix it up, if you're not going to, one name I do really want to throw out there is Sophie Wright. Trail Team Elite, Alaskan athlete.
Yeah, I was going to mention her.
Always a very, extremely talented, now living in Colorado and Boulder. So she's got that altitude adaptation. Seems like she's had a couple tough races this year. She had a tough race at Sunapee, and she also had a tough race at Cirque A Basin. So it's going to be interesting to see like where that kind of goes and if she's able to mix it up there. I think if she races smart, I think she'll have a fantastic day for herself. Another couple notables that are not going to be racing, or another notable that won't be racing, is going to be, I think his name is already off the list. Benjamin Townsend is a notable absence. I think he's getting ready for the Skyrunner U23 World Series final. That's going to be in October.
Oh, cool.
And he's raced a ton this year. So I think I think Benjamin's really intelligent in this. And like, he wants to win this race one day, wants to compete on the podium one day. And he knows himself. If he's not feeling like ready to go, then, it's smart to rest and, take some time off. So
did we talk about the male peak runner from Kenya?
No. Do you want to bring that one in there? This is a big question mark for me. Like, I don't know. It's just this Ethiopian,
this
runner.
one is Kenya, right? There's a Kenyan one in there.
No, are you talking about for the Ascent or Marathon?
The Ascent.
I'm sorry. Let me see what we got in here. Peak runner for the Ascent.
It's
yeah, I see it now in there too.
It's interesting how
I didn't approve this. I have no idea who this is.
We often get a Kenyan runner trying Pikes Peak. Sometimes they do great, and sometimes they don't finish.
My question is why is this? And I just have to ask this as a member of the organization. Like, I don't know why this is anonymous. I didn't know you could sign up as anonymous.
You can sign up as anonymous, which makes it's not a competitive entry, right?
No, it's a competitive entry on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, on the both of them. One is for I should know this. One's an Ethiopian 35 to 39-year-old male, and one is a Kenyan 35 to 39-year-old male. One for the marathon, one for the Ascent. I have no idea who this is, I have to be honest. I only get them as names, and you can kind of see like, okay, you obviously on the competitive applications, like you list like, all right, what are your achievements? What have you done? Why do you want to run this? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
But when they actually go sign up, you have the option to sign up anonymously.
Well, there you go. This is an interesting one. I have no idea who this is. So you say every now and then, more than often we get,
it's not unusual to have, because there's groups of Kenyan runners who train here or do a lot of road racing here, and they see that there's prize money at the Pikes Peak races, and so they think, well, maybe I'll try that, and sometimes it works out.
I think it's cool, man. Yeah. It's always funny to me to seeing guys, less gals. I see more dudes showing up in like road shoes that run this race, like George Foster. Shout out to George Foster, legend, buddy of mine. He raced this race in 2020 last year. A British fellow. He was one of the few people that started in when he raced it the first time. I think it was like, I forget what year it was. Started like way back in like a second wave or third wave, and like still managed to get himself in the top 10. Like,
oh wow, I didn't know about that.
Dude's a legend. Anyway, he was wearing.
So yeah, go ahead.
He was wearing a modified pair of Hoka Cielos that were like cut down and had Vibram outsoles on them. They were like, he actually had them like shaved down, so like some of the foam was off. It was really neat. I've never seen like a modded pair of shoes like this before. And he said they just had shit stability, but you know, on the Ascent, like
for the Ascent, it
nice
probably
and cushioned.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, so pretty interesting.
You probably don't really need trail shoes for the Ascent.
No, you might be better off in certain road shoes.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it would probably be faster with lighter shoes.
Yeah. You never know.
But not on the marathon.
No.
I don't see how you can do it on marathon.
No, you would die. You would die. It would not be good. Not be good on that.
You could win that other prize of most bloodiest person
yes.
coming down.
Yeah, you beat Allie for most stitches received at a marathon.
What was the yeah, maybe that's a topic for another conversation.
Let's get into it. If we're talking all things Pikes Peak, like open it up.
It's not Pikes Peak. That's what it was. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay. It was yeah, we'll just move on.
Okay. No problem. All right, do you want to get into picks, or is there any more topics that you want to discuss?
Yeah, we can get in picks for the Ascent.
Okay.
Are we just going to do top three?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm down with top three. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you go. I'll let you do. Let's start with the women. Ladies first. We'll do women first and then men.
Yeah, I think Rena Schwartz, she was my pick for first. And Andy Cornish. And then Alicia Vargo. Okay.
I like it. I'm going to go. I think Rena Schwartz is talented enough and probably will win this race. I think that's, I think the only person that can really push her if she has a great day might be Alicia Vargo, or if she shows up is going to be Anna Mae Flynn. Like I said, some things that are unsure there, so I'm not really sure if she's racing. I'm going to go Rena Schwartz 1. I'm going to go 2, Andy Cornish. And 3, I'm going to go Sarah Carter. And I think we have, I think that's our podium for the women.
I think if the Janelle Lynx that we had a few years ago shows up, if she's able to get back healthy, that she could be a factor too.
Absolutely. No, definitely a factor. I see Annie Doobie as well, Gwen Rudy, Janelle, Sophie, and Alicia Virgo, all competing for that top 10 spot. I don't know. This is, to me, is going to be the most interesting race in the entire, like the race within the race is going to be the women's field of the Ascent. I think that, to me, just because I think Rena will set herself up as a clear number 1, but I think that 2 through 10 spot, I think is going to be up for grabs this year. And, you know, Andy's had great races. I've seen her race. I think I actually have raced her. It might have been in a Cirque Series. She's very talented. She's very good. There's a few ladies in here that like really stand out to me. And I think Sarah Carter has had enough international experience with experience wise, I think it just comes down to, how tired are you? You know, raced OCC, raced series and all, raced a lot of races this year. So if she's fresh and rested, I think Sarah Carter can have an absolutely like lights out day here.
I think it's wide open, and there's an opportunity for someone we have never heard of to come through. And this is the kind of race that presents that opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you're ready for a high altitude hill climb, you can make an impact.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go for the men. I'll let you go first on the men.
I think Seth Demore is going to win. And I've got Kieran Ney second, and I've got Evans Cabet third.
Do you really? Okay, we got a completely different.
I got Brian Whitfield fourth.
Okay, all right. Some shade of Whitfield.
Brian has an incredible 2:14 time. So
this is a hard one for me. So I'm going first, Brian Whitfield. I think Brian Whitfield gets the day he deserves. Dude, his broken arrow, it sucks because he's got the he's got the 7th fastest time on the Broken Arrow 46K course.
Wow.
Like, Brian, when he shoots...
Was that this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
When he shoots, he does not miss, man. And I think and I'm not going to speak for him. I just know if it were me, Brian was probably, and I don't know, this is not insider information. I don't know how real this is. But if I had to guess, Brian was probably the first man left off the marathon team for Worlds. So I would imagine that probably lights a little bit of a fire, a little chip on the shoulder.
He's had some really good races here.
Dude, Brian, when he shoots, Brian, one thing I really appreciate and like about him is he like projects it. Like when he goes to do something, he gives it 110% if it's his A race, and he usually does not miss. So that said, he told me personally, like, he pushed on the ups at Cirque Series A Basin. It didn't really try on the descent and still got 5th place in a super competitive race.
Right.
Brian's fit. So I'm going to go Brian 1. In second place, I'm going to go Mika. And the reason I'm going to say Mika is because he only raced once this year. He just came back from knee injury. He's been trying to rehab for a while now. He's an interesting person. And I'll say is that like he's one of those mental, like, he mind over matter kind of people. Like he's just genetically very fit and works extremely hard, but like gets fit in the craziest of ways, working the hardest. Like sometimes it's swimming, sometimes it's running, sometimes it's other ways. So you got to remember too, Mika got beat very narrowly last year by Seth. And if I were Mika, every fiber of my being would not want to let Seth beat me again. And I think it's also this excitement and stoke, to be back and be lining up amongst your peers. We'll see. I mean, this is a completely different race. This isn't the Rut VK where he just got second behind Cam, but he did beat Jackson, who's an amazing climber. He beat a lot of really good climbers on Friday.
That's a totally different race, though.
It is a totally different race. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, just throwing it out there. And third, I'm going to go Seth Demore, very closely followed by Zach Erickson, who could potentially take any one of those spots. I also think Kieran Ney, Jarrett Gillingham, and Mark Schlemberger are right in the mix, followed very closely by Nick Tusa. I think you're going to be in the mix for your top men.
I think it is a wide open men's race as well.
I think, and Joe Demore. I just raced Joe Demore. He's super fit, man. He spanked my ass at Cirque Series Grand Target. And Jeff Cuno. I can't believe I'm missing Jeff. Yeah, I don't know. This is another really interesting race to me, like as to how it's going to fall off.
One of the great things about Pikes is things change so much above tree line, and guys who were doing well at bar camp and looked like they were doing really strong, sometimes they just fall apart. Yeah, and if we could get a window into that somehow. That is something that I would like to, see more of. Somehow, can we get more coverage of what happens above, even with more timing strips? Yeah. Because we have the timing strip at A-frame, and then with a mile. Some years we have it with a mile to go. But
wow, what would be cool? Man, this is like, I wonder if I could get Ace and me and Ace go up there. So I was supposed to race this weekend. I'm supposed to be going to the Cirque Series, Crystal, but I'm literally fighting off the sickness right now. I don't think I'm
We're good.
But that said, like, it would be really cool on Sunday to be there for the marathon, take maybe the train up or something, and then run down and like kind of run down to like A-frame and like capture what's going on in that moment. Cause like right above A-frame, what's it, the tree line? Yeah, that's when you see like, I mean, like, how cool would it have been to see like Francesco literally on the side of the trail saying, I'm dead, just leave me here, like I'm dying, and then come back from the, like, resurrect himself from the dead and like pass a bunch of people for a great finish. Like, I think those are the types of stories that would be really fun to follow, like the people like literally falling apart.
And people just start walking, and sometimes they just barely walk.
Yeah, the zombies. All right, what do you think? Do you think we got everything for the Ascent?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of people there.
I don't have a ton for the marathon just because I'm like I just don't have much here because we had so many people drop down to the Ascent that I feel like our marathon field's pretty decimated. Like, if Adrian McDonald was still in the race, I'd say, all right, we got something to talk about. You know, same with Hawk Call, but with both of them and a really limited women's field, I mean, I have to be honest with you, like I'll make the call. Like, I think John and Christina will both get their fourth wins.
Right.
You know?
And deservedly so. They would probably win almost no matter who showed up.
Yeah.
So, and deservedly so.
Here's my question. How many wins do you have to get in this race in the modern era to get your name on, like, your face on Mount Rushmore of this race?
Get a little plaque on Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
Or to become the next Matt Carpenter.
Well, I think there's no one. I mean, Matt Carpenter, that's like, you'd have to be a generational talent, or like just stupidly talented, and then have to like live here and eat, breathe, and sleep this one specific race. You'd have to have like almost like Christian Allen level talent, and then have to like live in Manitou and just like be obsessed with it,
That might happen. Might happen.
We might get another one. We'll see.
I mean, we have so many top pros here already. So
That's true.
And Jonathan is one of them, and Christina is another.
I agree. Both extremely talented athletes. And I think John to get his fourth, I think that would be, I don't know. I think that's a super special. I think for Christina, it's really special as well, having taken a few years off and coming back, but John to get 4 in a row, if he was able to do that, that's very special, Yeah,
especially after last year where it was not the race that he was training for.
Yeah,
so.
It's true. Yeah, just fittest on the day.
But he had a good BTMR.
Oh yeah, John's a monster. He's a scary man. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I got.
Okay.
You got anything else to add?
No, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
Awesome. Mark, I really appreciate your time. Thank you as always for coming on. I think we talked about a lot of really good stuff here, and this is it's a very special hour of my year getting to preview Pikes with you. So thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about it.
Appreciate it. Until next time.
Okay.